Everybody, I get a quick bite to eat. I haven't eaten anything all morning. Hey, Tiff, how are you, gorgeous? You just had your birthday. You just had your birthday. Send me, DM me your I'm gonna tell you something for your birthday. I've been so crazy busy. But didn't you just have your birthday, Tiff? I feel like I was on Facebook for like 1 second. And I thought I saw your birthday. I thought I did, but let me if it was, send me your phone number for Zelle so I can send you something for your birthday. And if it wasn't your birthday, still send me your Zelle. Okay, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. It has been a minute. It's a lot of things going on right now in life. I'm excited. I have a golf trip coming up this weekend. I'm going up to past the Poconos. I forgot the area. It's like 3 hours away. So super excited. Just signed on to clients this week for Glam Pro Go for web design and social media management. I'm doing a lot of things behind the scenes that I'm not talking about, and I need to start talking about it. But just to kind of catch up, and then we'll jump into our topic. I have a meeting in about 20 minutes, so I will not be long at all. But Glam Print Go has been doing very well. We have a plethora of clients that we're bringing in for the winter time. We are doing several website, whether brand new builds, some of them are revamps, and then we're doing social media management. So I'm actually now running people's social media accounts to get them where they need to be. So it's been really exciting. I'm in the process of expanding and just going after different contracts. So it's been a fun time trying to manage that with being newly married as well. So just pray. But Melvin has been very, very supportive, and I'm just really, really blessed to have a husband that does not see someone as competition, is doing his own thing, and is extremely supportive. I'm just truly grateful. God is so good. And I'm praying for all of my single sisters who are praying for marriage. I'm praying y'all get the right ones, okay? Not a facade, but that you get somebody who loves God and will support you. So anyway, I'm coming on because this topic, this may be a refresher for some, but I think it's also going to be a kick in the butt for some of you who you're still doing the same little habits and you're not building community. So just to quickly go through this and to kind of run my resume real quick, because sometimes you got to put respect on your own name. I've been building community since 2012. My community does not depend upon social media. Right. So I don't have to like regather people on social every single time. Right. I have right now 4,500 and some odd number of email subscribers. And when I send out something to them, it goes out to all of them. And it's our open rate right now is around 32%. And my business has been very successful to the point where I don't have to depend upon posting online to generate revenue. Now, of course, that took time, took years, took experience. But there are some basics that I think everyone should be implementing in your business so that you're not like many people online where like they only make money if they post it. Right. And even if they post, it's not a guarantee. So I just want to give you some things. There's also an ebook that I have. It's completely free. It's a part of being on the email list, and it's called Platform Playbook. I wrote it back in 2017, 2018. It's that good. Maybe 2019. It was before the pandemic, and it still applies. And it's called Platform Playbook. If you want that, you can just send me either a DM here on Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube, you can go to you can email me at info.justdorsey.com. If you actually go to my website, which is right there on the screen, scroll down to the very bottom and you will see an email address, and you can just shoot me an email, say, hey, I really want that Platform Playbook, and I will get it to you. So when building community, there are 3 things we're going to target in the next 17 minutes. If you're taking notes, highly recommend you take notes, and then I want you to implement this. I have clients who come to me and they say, oh, well, I put something in ChatGPT to build my community. Now, this is what we're going to do. This is how I'm going to run it. And I always say, like, okay. Okay. And I'm all for ChatGPT, by the way. I use it every single day in my business. But I want to give you some things that are kind of core in building your business that maybe ChatGPT will tell you. Maybe it hasn't. Oh, actually, you submit the RFP. Yay. Yay. I hope you get it. So with this, there's a couple things I'm thinking about. Number one, is what will you provide to your community? That's the first thing. I think when you're building community, you have to have something that they want. This is big, right? Like, what else going to be the attracting factor? You don't have to give anything for free. I know that's a big thing. People think you always have to. I think it is good, though, to provide a resource, but the resource is to prove your expertise, which we'll talk about second. But the first thing is, what's the purpose of your community? How are you going to feed your people? I've talked about this over the years, but I build community because I feed my people. Whether I'm giving out an insight in email, whether I'm giving them access to, free coaching or like a group coaching experience that I'm doing, but I give value. So I build community off of the value that I provide. That's the first thing. So I always say you need to name your community, give it a name. You need to have something that you promise them that they will receive by joining your email or text list. Of course, email is cheaper than text. So I always say build email first, add text later. But that's what you first have to have a cool name, something that attracts people. And then you have to have a promise, something that you will promise to deliver to them in exchange of joining that community. You don't have to overthink what you're going to provide. I think that's another thing too. A lot of business owners, they give too much because they don't know how to control their pour. That'll be another conversation that I'll have soon to refresh some of you guys, because you're doing way too much and your business still broke. So that kind of stuff I don't like. I don't like when you're doing too much because you feel like, oh, I got to give this, I got to give that. No, it's a poverty mentality a lot of times in business, because we don't understand how to control the pour. When you're doing a free community, like an email community or whatever, right? You provide bites of insights. So whether it's little strategies or tips, whether it's things you feel like they should be aware of, trends in the industry, things in which that you believe will make them better, right? It could be where they get a weekly blog post, maybe a direct email, but you want to keep it simple, because the complications and the heavy work is for actual clients or services you're providing, but it's not for the free. Okay, the free gets bites. Your clients get the full meal. Okay, and so that's the thing too. You don't have to go too hard, but you need to go hard enough to where they feel like they're getting something worthy. But don't go too hard where you're basically treating them like another client. They're not your client; they're your free community. So that's really big, right? So like on my email list, again, I have 4,500 and some change. With those people, they get I send out emails to them, where they give them insights. We just did a Speak Woman Speak Zoom. It was like, was it a week ago? We did 2 back-to-back ones, right? They're getting fed, right? But they're not getting anything. I'm not giving them a whole ton of extra stuff, because those are for my clients. And right now I have a lot of clients and I can't be consumed while feeding free, right? So you have to control your pour with that, okay? So build a name, have a name for your community, feed them with something simple, keep it simple. And then the other thing is that you have to focus on building the community. People ask me, just how did you get that many people on your email list? First of all, my email list is small compared to my friends. I have friends, they have like 20,000, 50,000 on their email list, right? Like, to me, what I feel like I've built is pretty small. But with what I have, what has been big is focusing on building that list. The biggest mistake I see on social, and I hate this, like people who tag their followers on like Facebook or whatever, and like every single post. Now, if I am a part of what you're posting, cool. But like, you guys remember like years ago on Facebook, people would tag like 99 people on the post to get them to see the post. It shows me that you don't know how to gather. So let me teach you on how to gather. What you don't want to do is to be that business owner that every single time you have something new for your audience, for your clients, you have to tag people or tag all your followers to get them to see it. All right? No, we don't do that. Okay? Instead, you build a list and you send that stuff out to your list. Now, you still post your stuff online, but with social media giving us less than 5% engagement on average, most are getting 1% engagement on average with their social media posts. Not everyone's going to see that one post you posted. Not everyone's going to see it. So I would rather give it to a list that I know is also interested. Here's the other thing about tagging people that don't want to be tagged or tagging your followers. Unless that group of people want what you're selling, your personal Facebook is a mixture of people that are interested in you personally, are interested in you to be nosy, and some of them may be interested because you're actually interested in your business. But we don't know if these are qualified leads. So that's why I use social to post to attract qualified leads, but I don't force people to like what it is that I'm posting, because I've realized that social media is a mixed pot, right? So instead, I build my list offline of people who say, Genesis, I want to get what you're talking about. Here's my email. So your email list is usually more qualified leads than your social will be. That's why our whole goal is to nurture people from social to an email list. We sell mostly to our email list. Like, I sell mostly to my email list. I also have an exclusive list of VIP clients, so that when I'm doing certain things or shifts in business, they usually are the first ones to know, because they're the most likely to invest. And I have my email list, right? So like, if you have previous clients that you've worked with, I have that all in like a lead list. So I'll send them, hey, we're doing this kind of service out here for this kind of, these kind of businesses. Let us know if you're interested on a sales call. Then I have my email list that's like for more things. So my point though is that we want to talk to people who actually want what it is that we're selling. So build that kind of list. Now that takes time. How do you build lists? That's a great question. Well, the first way organically to build a list is to talk about and to make your email list kind of like a VIP. It becomes what people want to be on. Like, hey, we're going to be releasing this resource. If you want it, you got to get on the list. That's one of the biggest ways that I expanded my email list, was that's all I talked about. And so people wanted to be on the list. They did not want to not be on the list, right? Also, I did a lot of virtual events where, I would bring on collaborators. And in order to get access to these virtual free events, you had to give your email list. And the virtual free events were focused on topics that, these were things up my alley, up, what I was doing, right? So it wasn't like I was hosting a women's empowerment event and really I'm talking about business, right? So of course, you can do a women's empowerment event about business. My point, though, is that I wanted it to attract qualified leads. So we don't waste our time doing things that aren't attracting. And then, of course, I would look at my KPIs to measure if what I was doing was actually like increasing my email list, because the KPI is for most of my activity with my email list was, okay, if I do this, then the proof is that people are signing up to join the list, right? Right. Like, that's the first step. And then from there, how many people are converting to do other things? So my point is that you can do it through organic by just using your organic reach to reach people. But the best way is actually ads. If you want to run organic, awesome. But let me just tell you, the best way to grow an email list is through ads. Okay. I don't care what anyone says, because organic means that you're waiting on people to respond to you. Ads are when you're actually going after people. So ads have been a great way. I recommend it for all of my clients. That's really how we build offline lists that give us the actual qualified leads that we want. And so what I recommend is that you do set an ad budget. I would run it for at least 2 months. You can start low as $5 a day, $150 a month, $300 to get people you actually want. Now, when you do, though, these email leads ads, you want to either provide a resource like a free ebook, a free training that qualifies who you're actually talking to. So one of the biggest mistakes is that people will boost a post, and you don't boost posts. You run an actual setup ad in your ad manager on Facebook for your Instagram and for your Facebook. You can also do this on TikTok. You can also do these on YouTube. You can also do these through your Google pay-per-clicks. My whole thing is that a lot of people are struggling to build community, but if you really want to build it really well, really fast, just pay for ads. Okay, I don't care. You just pay for ads. If you're like, oh, I'm tired of people not seeing my content, not seeing, at the end of the day, pay for the ad. Now, the ad, in my opinion, should be to build your community, not to sell product first. I think, if you have a product-based business or even a service-based business, people like to run the ad on the service. I think that works if you're running some extreme deal that would attract people. But I know for me, I don't run discounts on my web services, or if we're doing social media management, or if we're doing consulting. So it's better for me just to run an ad that would speak to what my client struggles with. So I'll give you an example. So right now I am having a plethora of real estate clients. I work with a lot of real estate, whether they are agents, whether they are investors, developers, construction, silent partners who want to get into different things. And so my whole business is about digital visibility, right? So I offer web consulting, web development and design, and then I offer the like kind of expanding that platform to integrating software and your CRM and all that kind of stuff, right? So I speak specifically to a particular entrepreneur. Okay, I speak specifically to a certain entrepreneur who has certain types of struggles. They have money, but they don't have time, right? They have the money, but they don't have the time. They're not DIYers, right? Like that's not my client. My clientele is not like, what's the cheapest thing that I can do myself? That's not my client. Now that may be your client, and so you have a DIY kind of client, and that's who you're speaking to, which means that they're looking for a certain price. My point though is that when I run the ad, I'm going to provide a resource like an ebook or like more like a workbook or like a mini resource. It could be a free training that really sells. For number one, they're going to learn something. This is so important. When you run an ad, they need to learn something. And I tell clients all the time, do not sell wasted space. Do not sell fluff, because people do not want fluff. They want help. So it's really best to sell to them something that will teach them something in like 5 minutes. Like, oh, wow, like that actually is something like I could apply. A strategy, an insight, something that actually proves that it's something like that, I highly recommend that you share something from your experience, because in the world of AI, ChatGPT, BART, all these AIs, everyone is putting out information that they may or may not actually know. So the one way to really clarify your expertise is to add a personal experience that proves that you really know what you're talking about, right? And so with that, you may have like a quick 20-minute video that they watch. It's a free training that talks about like, hey, like here are 3 easy ways to transform your digital presence. Hey, here are 3 easy ways to start going after government contracting. Hey, I want to teach you about the 5 steps that I use to take my business to, increasing at least 5% in profits by doing these 3 things. So my point though is that you're going to take that, whether it's a free training, a YouTube video that they watch, whether it's an ebook, that's what you're going to run to use the ads. Okay. You're going to tie it to your email marketing system to run the ads. I tell all my clients MailerLite, but you can use Constant Contact, Aweber, Kit, whatever platform you use. You want to make sure that they have email. They make sure that they have, Facebook ad integration, so that you can install the pixel. And some of these things you may not even know what I'm talking about. Just ask ChatGPT, what is a Facebook pixel? Why is it important with ads? You install the pixel in the back end. And so when they click the ad on Facebook or Instagram, it will take them to have to put in their email address in order to get the resource. Running ads is essential to building your community. I don't care what anybody says, because you can wait you can literally, I've seen people, it's taken them a year to build what an ad can do in 60 days. Just pay Facebook the money, but you have to do it right. Okay. So when you do the ads, if you go on YouTube, YouTube has a plethora of free step-by-step on how to install ads. I do recommend that if you've never ran ads, is you do it yourself first. People say, oh, just as wrong advice. But the reason why is so that you can really kind of understand how everything works. And if you go on YouTube, you type in how to run ads 2024. You will consume some videos. Do not have this like quick, easy fix mentality to learn stuff. Like, I don't care, but like before you go to bed, put on a video on YouTube and watch it before you go to sleep. Consume it over the next couple of days to understand like how ads work, ad restrictions, what works well, video versus graphic. We live in a video-based world, so video ads are doing a lot better. So I tell my clients, hey, take your iPhone and record yourself like less than 60 minutes saying, hey, everybody, my name is blah, blah, blah. And I want to share with you an amazing resource that's going to help your business, da, 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 da. And what you want to do is in that video, you want to speak specifically to your client, to your potential client or your potential customer and their struggle and how what it is that you have will help them. Always speak to the issue, because at the end of the day, people are not going to buy stuff because they like you or, oh yeah, she's cute, or he or she, whatever. People are saying like, okay, no, this is something I actually need. Like, I need this. Like, hey, have you ever struggled to do X, Y, and Z? Listen, I want to show you how this resource that I have is going to help you. This is a free resource. It won't cost you anything. It's just going to take you a few steps, right? So this is like where we want to make it easy for people to give us their email and their information, right? And exchange, we get their emails. Then what you do is you nurture the group of emails that are coming in. Okay, it's better to pay to play. I'm just telling you guys right now, organic's gonna take you forever and a day. I don't care what anybody's, oh, okay. People have been posting for years, still haven't sold anything, still haven't monetized, because you're not with ads. You can target exactly who you're focused on. You can target them in so many different ways. You can target socioeconomic level. Like some of you, you're on social, you're talking to people who can't afford what it is that you have. And then you're posting like, I treat my social now like it's for friends and updating about my life. I learned that a long time ago. Like I will share things that are happening in my business so that, hey, if you want to join in, great. But I'm not dependent upon social media, like organic posting to run my business. I will never be that ignorant again. Never. No. Because I may be talking to the wrong people. And most times you are, because you're talking to friends, family, people who want to follow you, but they're not necessarily the people who, okay, hey, do you have $5,000 for the kind of service that I have to do this? And if my business needs at least a certain amount each month to run the business, right, then I need this many leads coming in per month. And leads doesn't mean guaranteed contracts closed, right? So let's say I need to make base for me, $20,000 a month. Well, then how many people do I need to talk to even get people to be interested, to then get people to sign? Like this, like these are the real conversations that like we need to have in business. If you're tired of being broke in your business, okay, set up lead generating systems that will bring you the leads, that will help you to meet your minimum goals, that will then help you to build your business, right? So I guess what I'm saying is I'm over the motivational speeches that people give about business. At the end of the day, if your business is not making money, you're broke. That's it. If your business is not generating revenue, but not just generating revenue, but generating revenue that covers your expenses to break even, and then on top of that, right, to provide profit to then increase and grow the business, because that's really what we're talking about. We're not talking about how to run a break-even business. Okay, we're talking about how do you have money left over so the business can grow. Right. So in order to do that, you have to have enough people coming in to purchase what it is that you have, which means that you have to create a lead gen machine. So this is why a lot of people, yes, they do paid advertising, because yes, you can listen. Our family business runs mostly by word of mouth. Awesome. But we also do billboards. We also do ads. Like, there's a mixed strategy. So we have a diversified strategy, because at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we can cover and grow the business. So that's what I want you guys to think about. So number one, name your community. Number two, feed your community. Have a promise that you will deliver by them being a part of your email list. The third thing is that you want to create the lead gen system. I highly recommend running paid ads. So because even with, people, like I have friends who create viral content, they get great engagement, right? But are they buying and investing? That's the next thing. Like you can get people who are engaging, like, oh yeah, I want to be part of that. But how many people of that list are buying? So like if I have, let's just say 5,000, email list subscribers, how many are actually purchasing and on average per month? And what is that revenue bringing in? Right? Because you can have a dead list too. You can have a whole bunch of people who like you, but they're not buying. So we're a business. So we're really focusing on revenue, right? We got to get revenue, right? Okay. So within that, Brianna asked a question. I'm going to hop off because I see that someone is here, I think. Oh, here, hold on, guys. Hey, Sharon, I'm almost done. That's what meeting like. Okay. So she said, is it necessary to open a Facebook group for a community? I'm nurturing my email and social media, but I want to have a good way to people mingle together. Okay. So Facebook groups, this is an interesting season we're in, because Facebook groups. Okay, so let me first answer your question the way I really want to answer it. You said here, you want to have a way for my people to mingle together. That's the real question, right? You are the one, as the business owner, Brianna, that figures out what does mingling look like. Because every platform you're using or you can use, mingling looks different. And you want to figure out too, what's the purpose of the mingling? Because you don't have to have a Facebook group for people to mingle. Right? But you do need to have a Facebook group if you want to have, let's say, where, they can chat among themselves and, but then you have to moderate that. You have to create, hey, let's say, the group grows dead. Are will you be able to generate those conversations? Are there special things that happen in the Facebook group every week? Because you got to keep that machine. Anything you create, you have to sustain. So if that becomes your main way for them to mingle, I think it's a great way. I think it's a great way for people to stay connected. But I've also learned that with Facebook groups, you have to keep it going. And a lot of times in Facebook groups, people can comment, and they can talk to each other, but then it still does not have intimacy. That's where Zooms are really great, where people can actually see each other's faces and put names to faces and like a speaking way, voices to faces, and truly connect. So I think you have to think about anything I add to my business to grow my community or to nurture my community. What's the purpose for it? How will I sustain it? And then what's the strategy with it? Because if I'm adding a Facebook group, anything I'm adding, I'm thinking about at the end of the day is like, how does it build the business? So they're mingling, but how does that mingling generate sales? Is the goal to add that Facebook group so that they become more connected to then do what? Right? Like some people, their Facebook groups are for like challenges. Like a great example is, let's say for instance, you do a 3-day free challenge. You run that as an ad. This is what they do. They run it as an ad, a free 3-day challenge. And all the challenge stuff takes place in the Facebook group, right? So you run the ad through Facebook and Instagram, which means that they have a Facebook or Instagram account, right? And they sign up. It's a great way for you to build up, free emails, right? You do the challenge in the Facebook group, and the challenge is over. You shut down the group. Right. And then you upsell to that Facebook group, right? A paid offering. So that Facebook group actually has a purpose because the whole goal is to upsell things, right? It's a free to upsell, right? So it has a goal. And whenever you're live streaming in that group, you're not just like, oh yeah, let me just go live in the group. Let me just talk in the group. No, I'm talking in the group to then also upsell you something, because free is not just free. That's the other thing too. When you give out things for free, nothing is free. So I'm selling, but then I have the right, because this is free, to upsell you something because you got this for free. So you just got to make sure you have a strategy behind the Facebook group, and that that free is not free. Free is there to give you access and insights to then go to another level. And this is the biggest mistake with a lot of Facebook groups that don't generate any money, but they generate a ton of work. In ministry and church world, it's different, right? You have a prayer group, okay, that's a little bit different. But like on the business side, like if it's a business, it's a little different, right? Even if you are a Christian-owned business, it still needs a purpose. Okay. Candy Rain asks, we're wrapping up, guys. I'm a little bit over time, so this is time for questions as I hop off. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat. What's your take on free versus paid communities, even if the community is $1 a month? Okay, that's great. A great question. So communities have levels. Let me just quickly explain for Candy Rain's question. Your first level is your free level. Right? So everyone should have a free community, which is their email list. That is a community, by the way. I call it a community because it is. It's a group of people that are together, like-minded. And then we do things, whether it's like a Zoom, whether it's in-person gatherings that are paid or whatever. But the first free level is your email list. That's the first free level. Okay. That's the first free level. That's the email list, text list, whatever. Okay. That's free. From there, paid communities can be anything from group coaching, group experiences, like that for me was Speak Woman Speak on the Genesis Dorsey brand side. So you can have paid communities. But then what you're talking about is memberships. There's a difference. So you have free, you have paid. Paid communities can be group coaching, group. Then you have memberships. Memberships are also a form of paid community. Memberships, the biggest thing about memberships is there is your retention. That is the biggest thing when it comes to memberships, is your retention strategy. Because in order for a group to exist, you have to have several people who stay on to make it a community. I highly recommend that you first build up, and this is like the KPI to measure the effectiveness of doing something else. So I would first build up a strong email community that has, let's say, you start to begin to gather people on Zooms and like things like that, to start testing the strength of groups. This is why like a lot of people even do group coaching. They first haven't done one-on-ones enough to do groups, or even like if they do groups, you have to do groups enough to where if you do groups continuously, you have enough people in the group to run the group, right? Okay. So first build up your strength of individuals to then and then training them to gather to get used to gathering. It takes time. Okay. Then you're going to get them to be where you begin to test some form of membership. Okay. Because before you launch anything, I don't care if it's $1 a month, you have to have a plan of this. So my take on the membership side is that because I've seen it go well, seen it go bad. This is how I personally feel about it. What's the purpose? Group memberships is really about offering something that is usually low level cost because it's not like group coaching, it's like group membership, right? So you're offering something, that's kind of like, maybe pre-recorded content. Maybe you do meet with them once a month on Zoom, but it's a controlled offering. You got it? It's controlled because it's membership. So it's controlled. Think of it like a gym, right? So think of it like a gym. If I go to a gym, it's controlled membership. I'm not offering you the pie in the sky. You get access to the gym from these hours. You may get access to classes that run on a schedule, but it's controlled. Do you understand that, Candy Ray? Like it's controlled. It's a controlled offering. So you have to first figure out what's going to be your controlled offering. Does this actually solve a problem within your business? And does it actually help to expand your business? Offering something additional does not mean it's actually a good thing to do. It can be, it may not. You have to first figure out, is membership even what your community wants? If it's what they want, great. Then you learn, okay, what should that membership entail? How often should you meet? All of those things also help to dictate the cost. The cost. If I'm offering something for $1 a month, you are not getting a ton of things. You're not. Because I'm going to honor I'm going to honor the offering. Like if it's $1 a month, you may get, that may be a private email community list, like $1 a month, you're not getting a ton. Okay. Now we go up to maybe like, let's just say $20 a month. You're still not getting free group coaching. I'm not giving out free groups for $20 a month. No, you may get a pre-recorded video content that goes out. You may get some, content that I create, but I still got to control what that offering looks like based upon who I'm targeting. Who you target determines your cost. What you offer also determines your cost. So all those things, I'm all for paid communities because we do it every day. Paid community is DoorDash. Paid community is Apple Plus. Paid community, like we are part of the subscription world, right? It's all around us. So obviously it works. The question is, who are you targeting? What's the price point? What's the value? And will you get enough people to retain themselves within the community so that you don't have the trickle down effect? That's the biggest problem with subscription, right? Is that you have 20 people, then like 3 people fall off, like 2 people. So how are you going to keep new people coming in? Like it's a real thing, So Candy Ring, does that answer your question? Right? So if there's not really an answer, like one answer, it's more what is your business going to provide as far as value? Is that valuable? Will it work? Who are you targeting with this? Because usually subscription is for like a bite size of your community. It's not for everybody. Right? It's usually for people who want accountability, maybe for people who want, to connect on a consistent basis, right? What platform will you use? Do they even need to be chatting like that? Are your people talkative in that way? Or do they want to be on Zooms or face-to-face or, in person or on Zoom? Like you got to think about all those things. And you ask your community. You don't have to guess. Ask your people what they want. They will tell you. They will tell you what a number is that's comfortable to them. They will let you know. Okay? Okay. Any questions before I get off? Any questions? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, you can definitely still DM them to me. If you want the platform playbook resource, you can send me the email at info@genesisdorsey.com. Go to my website. You can go down to the very bottom of genesisdorsey.com. There's an email right there. Let me know in my email. Just shoot me an email. Say, hey, I want the platform playbook. It is a great mini resource that breaks down how to sell expertise online and what you need to do. I would challenge anyone here as we close. If you are struggling to build your email list, it's time for you to run ads. That's the short of it. Okay. I'm tired of people who are like, oh, I've been posting for 30 days. And like nobody's following, nobody's engaged, and I could care less about social media engagement. I care more about the leads that come from the engage. Like that, like that's the thing. People are getting really hyped up as I close. People are getting really hyped up today of like getting likes and shares, and it's awesome. Going viral is awesome. but I care about what the bank account looks like. I care about how many clients you're servicing. I'm not really concerned about, how many, like, we got to get past this. Like, we really, like, this is the deception that a lot of people have, is that they look at people's accounts like, oh my God, I wish I could be like that. And I'm like, well, I really morally care. I really care about how much revenue are they making. Cause I know a lot of people get a ton of engagement and they can't sell anything. People aren't buying stuff. They're liking it. They're loving the content, right? But they're not building an actual business of sustainability, right? Like, I want to look at your bank account statements and I want to see how much revenue are you generating on a consistent basis. If you're not, this is a non-starter conversation. I don't care about how many followers you have. I don't care about I know people who may only have 3 people watching their live. They make more money than people who have 500 people watching their live. Because it's not about how much people like you. It's not about how many shares you get. Do you know what's really about? How many people are buying what it is that you provide. It's a non-starter conversation at this point, okay? So I want you guys to get past, oh, I don't have a lot of people watch my live. I don't have a lot of this. I don't have a lot of that. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? This is real life, real business, guys. Like, this is real life, real business. Hobby Lobby has a social media account. You should see how many likes they get compared to how many followers they have. Hobby Lobby's doing just fine. Okay. You may have an account, you get more likes and more shares than what Starbucks has or what some other bigger brand has. They're still making more money than you. You know why? Because at the end of the day, it is not about just the likes and the shares. While engagement is great, while visibility is great, it is really about doing the things that actually bring money in the bank account, that actually allow you to grow the business, to help people. That's what I care about. So I want you to have a real conversation with yourself. I want you to really have a real conversation with yourself. The website is a link in my bio, by the way. So you can just tap contact and she'll give you my email. That's where we're at. Okay. So what's your homework? Because I love homework. What are we doing next? Great question. I want you to look at your email community. That's it. Start there. How many people are on the email list? What is your growth goal? And even if it's not an email list, it could be a lead list. Like, let's say you don't do email. Let's say you actually do like how many leads come in and learn about your business, right? We need to increase that goal, because in order for you to increase your sales, you have to increase the amount of people that are contacting and in touch with your business. That is like, that's it. I don't care what you say. I don't care. I frankly do not care. Okay. In order to increase sales, you have to increase traffic. You have to increase eyes. Okay. In order to generate more sales, you have to have people that you're directly or more intimately contacting, right? Because remember, social media is only going to give you, if that 1%, you may get 5 on a lucky day, that are actually engaging, unless you're creating viral content that goes live. But I don't depend upon going viral to make me money. So I have to have a more consistent way of generating leads. This is why when you look at the best companies, they're running paid advertising as an automatic strategy. Okay. So that is going to help you. So look at your number. I want you to figure out, how much do you believe you can increase that number by? We are currently in Q4. Okay. And we're in the middle of October. So then by the end of October, or let's say early November, let's give yourself 15 to 30 days using paid ads. I want you to look up on YouTube how to run paid ads. I want you to look it up. I want you to learn it. Okay. This is going to help you. I want you to learn it. Okay. On YouTube. Don't go to some rinky dink person. No, just go on YouTube. Please go on YouTube. I want you to learn. I want you to set a simple budget of $5 a day, $150. Okay. For your first ad campaign. I want you to do a video-based ad. Okay. Do not do a graphic. I want you to do a video-based ad. Okay. I want you to be less than 60 seconds. Okay. And they're on YouTube. They'll talk about like how to create scripts, all that. Yes, you could depend upon ChatGPT, but we want to make add some intimacy to it, add some, some color. I'm sure it can help you do that. Anyway, you're going to do that. You're going to run your ad for at least 30 days. Give yourself time to run the ad. You ran it for 2 days. You think it's not working. Give it time so you can actually see the data. Of course, that ad's going to be connected to your email marketing system. Like whatever email marketing system you use, that's where the traffic will go. So when they click to learn more, it will take them to where they'll put in their email to then get whatever it is that you're promising them. Okay. So that's your homework. I want you to increase your lead gen. If you are in the market where maybe you don't do an email list, you do like a lead gen form, then do a lead gen form. Like, hey, if you want to build up how many sales calls you do, then do a sales call lead gen. We're like, hey, I want to go on the phone with you, do a free consultation and talk to you about your business, how we can help you. That's a lead gen form. So it's not necessarily email list, more like a lead gen where they put in, their phone number, their email address, what kind of business they have, and you're just doing sales calls. So maybe your KPI is to have this many calls and close this many deals, right? Like you could do it that way. My point though is that whatever it is that you're doing, that's what we're doing by the middle of November. Because that's how you're gonna make more money. That's it. Like if I want to sell more websites as a service, I'm going to run an ad for the Philadelphia region, right? I'm going to run an ad talking about my websites, talking about our service, and I'm going to run it where they give us their phone number, their email address, what problems they have, how they want a new website, what their budget is. And I may say, you know what? I'm going to run an ad for 30 days. I want to do at least 30 sales calls. That's if you really want to make money. People who talk about it, they just talk all day and they don't do any of the stuff I'm talking about. And then they're still broke. And I am a coach. I'm a person that, and I'm not coaching. I'm not selling any coaching right now anyway. I'm talking to you as a business owner. And I was talking to a friend. I promise I'm getting off, but I'm saying this for a reason. Your hunger has to match your mouth. And I'm a very straightforward person. So when someone tells me that they want to have a more successful business, I ask them, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, you want to make an additional $10,000 this month. What are you doing? Because if your energy does not match making $10,000 more, I'm not going to talk to you until your feet move accordingly. You're not learning anything right now. You don't want to grow your business. I'm not talking to you. I'm telling you, we're in a place in a world right now where there's a ton of people who think that because they read things and watch them that they have knowledge. You don't have knowledge if you're not doing it. You don't have knowledge if you're not failing. You have to, some things you're going to be failing. You won't get it right the first time. Redo it again. Oh, I ran my ad and it didn't work the first time. Do it again. Learn what failed. Learn what didn't work right. But your hunger has to come up. And that's what I've been teaching people. Your hunger has to match your mouth. And if something is not working, figure out why. Stop complaining and telling me or telling the world on social media, oh, I'm doing this and this not work. I'm doing this and this not work. Welcome to entrepreneurship. It doesn't work well the first time. It won't be your best product the first time. It won't be your best book that you've ever written the first time. You will make a ton of mistakes on your first try. Your business may not make it out the first run. You may have to start another business. Welcome to entrepreneurship. I wish I could tell you that it was easy, but entrepreneurship is about responsibility. It's not about standing in the front. It's about saying, okay, I have a vision. I want to make it work. This is what it takes. That welcome entrepreneurship. Okay. One more question. I'm done. How do you build weekly homework to improve retainership? The question with that is your question saying, should you be creating homework for your audience every week? Because I will tell you this, you have to know your client and what your client wants if you're doing a retainership within membership. I have clients who are sick, when I say six, I mean, like they make 500K, between 500K, about 2 million, right? They don't want homework. They don't have time for homework. If you have a busy mom, a stay-at-home mom, she doesn't have time for homework because she got like 3 kids, right? Like you have to know your clientele. If your clientele has time for homework, great, give them homework. But sometimes, like I'll say this with my clients, I have clients who they may have time, but their time is still limited. So I try to not give them a ton of homework. I try to give them reflections. I try to give them videos to watch, audios to listen to where they will take steps, but it doesn't feel like they're in school because a lot of them already have their PhD. They're not going for their doctorate again. They don't want to do it. So when we talk about work, you want to make it to be where people can also complete things. When you give people too many things to do, they don't complete it unless they're in college because they've paid for a degree, like they want to get a degree, right? So if you're doing coaching or consulting, I've learned you only give enough that they can complete because you want to be able to tell people that your customers, your clients, your students have been able to complete the work. So I make it easy enough to complete. Like, maybe they watch videos and then maybe they do a quiz and the quiz them on, hey, did you learn the material? But I'm not going to, hey, you have to submit these many documents and do that. Now there may be some homework where they need to submit proof, but I'm more of like a task person. Like, I'm not going to give you 30 sheets or like even 10 sheets of work. I'm going to give you a checklist of things I need you to complete before our next call. Right? Like that's what I do. Okay. But again, you know your clientele. It's all about knowing your clientele. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this, I definitely want to do a part 2, possibly tonight. I'm just doing pop-ups because at this point, like again, I don't make my money off of, like strictly off of social, doesn't depend on that. So I just want to go out here and just give you guys this information, right? If you're enjoying this, let me know in the comments or send me a DM and say, hey, just like I enjoyed this, but I want you to send me a message in my inbox, or if you're on YouTube, send me an email letting me know what you want to learn about when it comes to building community. What do you want to learn, right? What are things that you believe would help you? Because I want to give you what you want. We're going to be waking back up my email list as well. And so I will be sending out an email to everybody, letting them know like, hey, this is what's going on. Last thing before I log off and I get to my client is that the podcast. So I've launched a podcast. This is for my faith-based Christian ladies on teachings. If you look up on Apple Podcast, on Amazon Music, on iTunes Podcast, on Spotify, you can now look up, it's called the Book of Genesis Teachings. If you go to my website, genesisdorsey.com, and you scroll down, you'll see the podcast right there. You can click the link and go to either of all the 3 different podcast platforms. The podcast episodes that are up now, which is part 1 and part 2, are from my teaching I did on the supernatural mindset. If you are a believer, a Christian entrepreneur, a Christian leader, stay-at-home mom, God's called you to do something big, I want you to listen to those teachings. They're audio-based, so you can listen to them while you work, listen to them in the car. Each one's about 20 to 30 minutes long, but it's really good. And I want you guys to subscribe, leave a review on the podcast if you really enjoyed it. Leave a review, please, if you can. Let me know what you enjoyed about the podcast, because these teachings are really helping my students and my clients and just my audience and my community grow, especially as women of God and men. Anyone can listen to this, but it's really going to help to build your faith and learning how to walk in, how to lead, how to do things that are bigger than you. You have to be able to think out the box. You got to go past your limits. You got to go past, low self-esteem and these things. And these teachings are going to help you really unlock the best you that God has made you to be. So again, it's called the Book of Genesis Teachings. Go to my website, genesisdorsey.com. Scroll down. You're going to see the podcast links right there. Subscribe to whatever platform is you listen to podcasts, and then I want you to leave a review. Okay, guys, be blessed. I will talk to you guys soon. If I go live tonight, you'll definitely see it pop up. If you're on YouTube and you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that you can see new content. And I will be vlogging. I'm supposed to be doing Vlogtober, but I'm late. But I'm going to be doing some vlogging on my YouTube channel, giving behind the scenes on my business, and with Glam Print Go, and like the work that I'm doing and like thoughts that I'm thinking when it comes to building a business. And so if you want to like take that journey with me, kind of see the behind the scenes of how I build my business and what I do, then definitely hop over to my YouTube channel, which again is called the Book of Genesis. Okay. See you guys later and be blessed. Talk to you guys.